So last week I introduced the self-confidence formula, which is a series of statements that I have memorized and that I repeat daily. It is an idea taught by Napoleon Hill, who wrote Think and Grow Rich. In this book, he shares about what he learned from Andrew Carnegie, who at that time was the richest man and the biggest philanthropist in America. And also, after more than 20 years of study of many individuals who had amassed personal fortunes, he wrote this book. Napoleon Hill also wrote The Law of Success in 16 lessons. It's a 1600-page book. And lesson 3 was on self-confidence. And that's where he proposed his 5-step formula to develop self-confidence. He calls it the self-confidence formula. Okay, morning, all of you. Oh, Bob, you are there. Goodness me, you are the master of all this. Okay. Now, let's recall. In earlier Motivational Mondays, I talked about the 4 crucial characteristics of a leader, which are actually 4 crucial characteristics of success. And these 4 crucial characteristics are compelling desire, solid belief, effective action, and iron will. Compelling desire is your why, your dream. It's the end in mind. And what about solid belief? Where do you want to have solid belief? You want to have solid belief in the industry, in the network marketing industry. You want to have solid belief in the product. You want to have solid belief in the company, solid belief in your team, and solid belief in yourself. That's why the self-confidence formula is important, because the buck stops here with myself. Remember, in 48-hour training, one of the key mindsets we teach is stop blaming others. Okay, stop blaming others, because I'm responsible for everything. So this week, let us look at the first step in the self-confidence formula. Okay, the first paragraph is, first, I know that I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite purpose in life. Therefore, I demand of myself persistent, continuous action toward its attainment, and I here and now promise to render such action. Okay. I've written down this first step, this first paragraph in my introduction to this video. Okay. Now, when you look at this first paragraph, you actually see the 4 crucial characteristics embedded in this first step of the self-confidence formula. You see the compelling desire, because it talks about definite purpose in life. Your definite purpose statement is your compelling desire in your life. There is solid belief there, the element. I know that I have the ability. I know that I have the ability. That's solid belief. It talks about effective action. It says, remember, the phrase says, I demand of myself persistent, continuous action toward its attainment. It's about action toward achieving something. What about iron will? Iron will is the persistent, continuous promise to render such action. And when you see the word demand, I demand of myself. What is the demand? The demand is when you ask strongly. It's when you insist, when you clamor. Like a child clamors, insists on some, demands attention. Okay, it's urging you. It's the pressure. Okay, that's what demand is. And if you step back and you look at the whole tone of it, the whole tone is unreasonable. I demand of myself. I mean, how many of you demand things of yourself? You're the only one that can give you permission to do nothing. But I decide I'm going to demand of myself. Okay. So let's look a bit more at this phrase, demand of myself, persistent, continuous action. What are some examples of persistent, continuous action? The sunrise, sunset, persistent, continuous action. Your heart beating is persistent, continuous action. Your electricity and water supply, you want that to be persistent and continuous. Wi-Fi connectivity, we get excited when there's no Wi-Fi. Okay? Even our helper, our mates at home, we expect them to be working persistently, consistently, always in action. Okay. So these are how we expect that in day-to-day life. And what are the results of persistent, continuous action? Okay, many of you have just been through Unleash the Potential, Unleash the Power Within You, and Tony Robbins, UPW, and he talks about CANI, C-A-N-I, continuous and never-ending improvement, continuous and never-ending improvement. So the results of persistent, continuous action is continuous and never-ending improvement. Malcolm Gladwell, the author, wrote the book Outliers, and in that he states that it takes approximately 10,000 hours to master something. So with persistent, continuous action, you will be a master, you will be great at something. Okay, let's look at some tips, okay? And I took some quotes from some champions that you are familiar with. Billie Jean King said, champions keep playing until they get it right. So if you keep playing, you will get it right, and then it becomes easier and the wins become more consistent. Martin Luther King Jr. said, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. Okay? You have to keep moving forward. Napoleon Hill himself said, patience, persistence, and perspiration make an unbeatable combination for success. Okay? Okay? So patience, perspiration, the hard work we talk about, and of course the persistence. The other tip is to make it a habit. So we also went through the 7 habits of highly effective people. Okay, it wasn't 7 ideas, 7 principles. It was 7 habits, because you want to repeat it and do it often enough until it becomes natural. Okay, until it becomes a habit, like brushing teeth, like smiling, okay? Like doing good. So it's not an automatic, but it's not an when I think habit is not an automatic repetition, because that's insanity if you keep doing the same thing that doesn't work all the time and you expect different results. But it's a conscious repetition to improve. I guess example you all have in mind is Sir Thomas Edison, who invented the light bulb. He didn't repeat the same thing. He had found 10,000 different ways, improving each time until he got it to work. Let's look at the word demand also. Okay. When can you demand something? When it's contractual. Okay. But what if it's not contractual? What if it's the grace of God? Okay, your life, your health, sunrise, sunset. Okay, then we take it for granted. It's almost like a right. Okay, then we forget, to demand of ourselves. Okay, so does everything have to be a contract before you demand? Okay, I think that's where we have to frame our mind. That we make it a demand, we make it a contract. I honor my word with actions. It becomes inviolable. And you have only one life, and only one person will and can persistently, continuously demand continuous and never-ending improvement from you, and that's you. Okay, so there must be an overwhelming, a huge, compelling desire, and that's your definite purpose statement, isn't it? Okay. And it's really your entire life. Everything you will dream of, you will attempt and will achieve, will be a result of your self-confidence. So getting what's in your definite purpose statement, when you get it, okay, when you achieve it, it will build your self-belief, so that truly you say, I know I have the ability. And that's why you need to recite it daily, okay, twice daily, to remind yourself to be unreasonable, to demand of yourself persistent, continuous action until it becomes a habit. So I want you to memorize this first step. Okay, I'm finishing early, So that gives you an opportunity the next 5 minutes that you actually spend time starting to memorize this and have it memorized word perfect by next Monday. Okay, I'm just going to end with a short story about myself, very very short story about how this actually works. So when I was introduced to New Skin, I asked Junwen how many people succeed, and he basically gave me numbers that said 1 out of 20 succeed. I saw that 19 out of 20 quit. Okay. Now I had confidence in myself that I don't quit. Okay, I said I will do this because I'm a kind of person that doesn't quit. I may not be very smart, I may not know anything at all, but I don't quit. Okay. At that time there were only 26 products. I was doing the business part-time, but you know, for several months we did 50,000 GSV a month. Okay, I became Blue Diamond in 1 year, Team Elite in 2 years. Why? Because there was this need. You had to be a Team Elite to be in China, and China market was opening. Okay. So if you look at my team, the cutting edge team, why do we speak Mandarin after all these years? Because that was the persistent, continuous action that an ACS boy who can't speak Mandarin took towards becoming proficient in Mandarin. So this was an example of of the first step of the self-confidence formula. Okay, guys, thank you for being on board. Go and memorize this. Okay, self-confidence formula. You need to memorize it. Okay, so that you can say it anytime, twice a day, and that it becomes part of your life.